about Europe and hate speech. I have a very good answer for that. I want to start with that.
Okay.
In general. Whatever. That's it. Be the conversation.
We ready? All right. 3, 2, 1. Happy to be joined by Ambassador Yehuda Kaploun, the State Department Special Envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism. Fresh to the job. How are things going so far?
Things are going as well as can be expected. Getting onboarded at the State Department is its own issues and government bureaucracy, but they've been absolutely incredible. The President and the Secretary are making it a priority that I should be able to be on board as quickly as possible and functioning, and they have done so, and I'm very grateful to the staff at the State Department for having done that.
You're stepping right into the fire in terms of dealing with anti-Semitism. Couldn't come at a worse time, but an opportune time to actually be able to do something about it. What are your priorities?
There's never a good time when it comes to anti-Semitism. Unfortunately, I'm stepping into a role after a massacre in Vandai, a year of really trials and tribulations throughout the world, whether it be Europe or the killing of Israeli staffers in Washington or in Colorado, where a Holocaust survivor was killed. We have numerous incidents around the globe, and we have to deal with them. And the President and the Secretary have made it a priority that they are going to not tolerate anti-Semitism anywhere and by anybody.
The amount of hate speech that we've seen during this time, I mean, it's off the charts. You look through social media, you see it even on television. The lines, they're not even blurred anymore. They're gone. How do you even begin to tackle such a phenomenon?
Well, I think you have to have an understanding that, first of all, in this country, we believe very strongly in free speech. It's the basis in our Constitution. And we also believe in the freedom of religion. You have to balance that. But you balance that in two ways. Europe has hate speech laws, probably some of the best on the books, but it's selectively enforced. So if you selectively enforce a rule, it's not going to have any effect whatsoever. And you can see how it's had no effect in Europe in monitoring and stopping the hate. So it's not necessarily the laws to mandate hate speech. We have to get back to having the media being accurate. Because if you take a look, when the New York Times had a story, and they had a picture of a malnourished child saying the famine in Gaza, and it was a medically sick child with a lot of history, and they had used other pictures from Yemen. 50 million people saw that article, but yet only 100,000 people saw their apology. That breeds hate. By not having that breeds hate. So we have to do a better job in enforcing and educating people to actually do their own research.
The Trump administration has not been shy about throwing its weight around in order to get things done and leveraging its power in order to get other countries essentially to see things the way that they need to be seen, according to the Trump admin. How do you feel this administration can use that leverage with allies and non-allies in order to try to contain rampant anti-Semitism?
So I think two things. If you take a look at what recently the Secretary of State has put out about using migration as part of seeing how migration has affected the policies of governments globally, that's something that we're monitoring. The fact that visas, we can look at someone, it's a privilege to come to America to visit or to study or to work. You just can't be a person who hates, then come into the country and foster and sow discord. This has been the greatest administration from day one. The President has laid out his agenda together with the Secretary about how to keep Americans safe. And secondly, how to keep students on college, how to stop the rhetoric of hate, that it's not okay. What has gone on in the past year, seeing universities in record numbers approaching the government because they don't have an option. They're funding. Everything is being done. You have a measuring stick. You have accountability. And that's what the President has done, not just in the United States, but even abroad. The UN now has accountability. UNRWA is not being funded by the United States. Why? Because they helped fund terror. There was no transparency. Instead of funding schools, they ended up funding a tunnel network in Gaza that harmed people. So now there's accountability. And my job is to enforce and work to make certain that people will be held accountable about monitoring and combating global anti-Semitism. This is a priority for the administration, and I'm humbled to be a part of it, and I'm humbled that both the President and the Secretary placed their trust in it.
I know you have big plans for this role. Get your laptop set up, get your health benefits in place, and all that onboarding stuff you got to deal with. We'll come back. We'll have a much wider ranging conversation on this, okay?
Looking forward to meeting you at the State Department.
Ambassador Yehuda Kaploun, thanks so much for taking the time. Thank you, sir.